Hi everybody, how you doing? How's life treating y'all? Welcome to Let's Talk with Miss P. My name is Felicia. I am your host. You guys, I am so tired. Oh Lord. Hi guys. How you doing? You guys, that's Riley. Riley says hi. Oh Lord. You guys know who's Riley? Riley is the co-host, the second co-host, mini co-host of the show. She likes to say hi guys. She's right here getting ready for bed. How you doing? Welcome to a beautiful February, my month of love. People to say hi. Hi. Say hi. You're in pajamas. Welcome to February, my birth month. I am super excited to be here. How you doing? I want to say thank you guys for last week's Sunday. It feels like it's been a while since we didn't have this show overnight, right? I feel like it was a lot longer than it is. So tonight we're only streaming on two platforms, just my main page and YouTube. Apparently, there's something going on with Facebook that there's gonna be some changes where you can't go live if you don't have certain type of followers. Thank the Lord we hit 5,000 last month, so super grateful. But welcome to the show. We gotta do our deliverables tonight. I gotta leave from here at 10 o'clock, so from 9 to 10. Right now, I'm about to share this show, and I'm asking you to please share, invite your friends, invite your parents, your sister, your brother. Why my jawline looks so big tonight? It feels like my face looks swollen. That's crazy. But invite everybody, tell them to come on, say hi to me. Kiki is live. Last week we launched our segment of the show. How well do you know the Bible? And you guys, I was super excited because all the people that called on this show was young adults or young folks, and they killed it. They knew all these Bible verses and I was all these Bible answers, and I was so proud. So congratulations to all of our winners. We were able to give all their monies. So super excited. You guys don't forget the end of the month, we're gonna do it again. So we still, if you want to send us stars, send us stars. If you want to support the show, send us whatever you want to do. It's up to you. I really don't ask you guys a lot on here. It's not that I have it all, but I want it to be something that you're moved to do, and not me like on here like down your throat making you to do it. So, and for me, before I give to, it's always something that I have to feel moved to do. So that's why I don't really ask you guys for stars. But if you want to send us stars, you're more than welcome to. I know very soon. You guys, Riley saying good night. Good night, Riley. Hey, River says Pro, shout out to you. Welcome. We miss you on the other show. We wanted you on there, man, but you were at work. We had it way too early. It was too early. But yeah, I use this little time from 8 to 9 o'clock. I use it for like a little bit talking, and sending out, sharing the show, setting everything up, and then 9 o'clock we can get started. It's probably gonna be just me and you, River Cespro, I think, unless somebody else gonna join. But let's share the show. I'm so proud of those young kids that came on and just they blew that whole thing out of the park. They were calling. It was so exciting though. We are working on making sure that it runs smoothly, but I think the first time around it wasn't so bad. But after the show that day, we did a little back, we went back in the studio and we were able to talk. So we come up with a plan. Hopefully there'll be more of us on the show so we can kind of like have it moving smoothly. Thank you. Thank you too. Thank you. I meant to text you that day to say, hey, where's your questions? For us to ask. Maybe the next time you will give us the questions, Versus Pro. Let me pin the link in the comment section, you guys. I'm talking plenty over here, and I ain't even do my due diligence yet. But you guys, my week was so busy. Started out in my new role is was very interesting. I feel like I feel like my company keep pranking me every time I get a new role. I feel like it's a prank, you guys. The reason I say that because they always prep me for this and say, this is a good group. That hospital is great. You would do great. And I walk in, you guys. I don't know what I walk. I feel like I walked into a mob. My voice is even almost gone. I walked into these big people, and I'm a little Felicia just sitting there, like, okay, where do we start? But y'all pray along with me. I'm definitely gonna need a lot of prayer and Jesus on my side to navigate these new group of people. But I know I have the ability to. But I'm like, they literally set me up when I walk in there. When I walk in there, y'all, when I tell you guys what I walked into, y'all would not believe it. These people are off the handle. That's all I can say. They're off the handle. But anyways, and I think one of these days, um, I'm gonna do a topic on, how do you become an effective leader with a group of people that haven't been taught or the foundation hasn't been set. I think that's something we should talk about. But right now, super excited. The new hospital is about 3 years old, so it's brand new and everything just look nice. But definitely the group of people that I'm going to be in charge of are very interesting, to say the least. I've dealt with rough around the edges before, but these ones are on another level. If I'm being honest, it's on another level. Uh, yes. Let's see, guys. But I'm super grateful for all of you guys who pray for me and just keep me in your prayer because I would need prayers. That's all I can say. I would definitely need prayers more than prayers. But God is faithful and He always show me the way. He always give me direction. So super excited for these. And if they trusted me enough to make me this, I think God would carry me through. But let's jump into it. Today we're talking about, and speaking of difficult situation, right? Do you believe that an adult struggle is a reflection of his or her upbringing? If so, why or why not? Isn't that coincidental, like what I just said? Do you think how we all struggles in life as adults is a definition of how we are raised, or what like the structure and things that are set for us before we become adults? Do you think all those things affect us? Have you ever sat and really think about it? Like, is it all the decisions that my parents made and everything? Was it part of how I got here? Did it have anything to do with some of the things that I'm struggling with today? Or is it just me? I'm just going through it just because it's me. Do you think that? And This is a little bit, I feel like this topic makes you to think in depth a little bit. It really gets you to start to think like, huh, what was those decisions that my parent made, like from age 0, how you fed me? You know how you guys that have kids that actually experience it, men or women, when your child is like 0 years old, nobody prepares you for that because you're thinking about infections and all these bacterias because their immune system is not even mature yet. So you're thinking about that. There's a lot of decisions you have to make, the place you live, how you prepare, the area when the baby is born, the environment. Nobody is allowed to touch them. They got to wash their hands. All those little steps you take. And then when they become an adult, you have to decide what school to go to. Like, think about it. Do you think how certain people, adults in their adult year, we all don't struggle the same way? Everybody's struggles is different, right? So, do you believe that the way your parents or you being a parent, the way you're setting those structures is a hey, and now welcome to the show. Can you guys even hear me?
Uh, Hi,
Let
we
me
hear
be
you. Sorry, I'll
okay.
mute myself. I'm in the middle of something. Give me a sec.
Sure, no worries. Um, you know, does that affect how your adulthood struggles are? Just think about it. This one really, I feel like, is a thought provoking topic, and it really should get us in depth. And I'm hoping you guys, I need to make it a church tomorrow. So we got to leave from here exactly at 10 o'clock, please. But yeah, let me go ahead and share the show, and then we can jump into that conversation. Let's see. I set it up. I didn't even make a post today. I was being a mom, you guys. Um, trying to be busy. But welcome. How is your week? How was your week? Welcome to beautiful February, where we start to see a little bit of a good weather here and there. Hopefully it's not gonna be so cold. I feel like it was too cold this winter. Like, it's been too cold for my liking. But yeah, you guys. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Everybody is talking about how ice, not S. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I read somebody comment and they said S. The S are coming for us, not S, but ice. Um, Not to be mistaken about that. Let's talk about that. Um, how is it? How do you feel about what you're seeing? Because I know a few people inbox me, and they were like, I don't even know if I should even jump into that conversation. So a few people inbox me, DM me, and was like, I hope you're happy. Uh, the person you guys put in office is doing X, Y, and Z. First of all, every decision I make in my life, I want to say never, but I think thoroughly before I make decisions in my life. I'm not just like jump up. There's been like many scenarios where I've played out in my head before I make decisions in my life. So, to address those people who inbox me, if you're watching, no, I don't regret my decision. I'm sorry, but not sorry. I don't regret my um decision of who I voted for. So if that is some type of manipulation or whatsoever, I didn't respond to this DM because I don't want to go back and forth with you, but I know I was going to address it live. I don't regret my decision, not because whoever is in office or President Trump making that was part of his agenda. It was very clear. So not because he's fulfilling one part of the agenda, that doesn't take over everything else that I believe in that made me to vote for him. So no, I don't feel bad. I hope you're watching. Thank you. And that's what I'm gonna say about that. Relentless process. It is often said we are product of our environment, and I think our upbringing shapes our lives to some extent. I agree. I agree. I agree. Uh, I'm just sharing the show.
Oh, you're
Huh?
still sharing the show. Oh, and it's time to
Yeah, we'll
so
start
that.
at 9 o'clock. Yeah, sharing the
Okay, I'll
show.
join back at 9 then.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Um, we are a product of where we come from. And, it's really funny how some people would try to say, well, we are all struggling the same way. No, you're not. Everybody's struggle is different. Everybody experiences is different. No two-person struggle is the same. I might be eating rice with oil, but my rice may have seasoning on it. I might not have soup on my rice, and you are eating rice with no soup too. But the way I cook that rice, I may put mwen on my rice, and you don't know that. So you can't say we're both struggling the same way. Um, we're not. We live in the same. We might live in same public housing, but the way I'm living is different from you. So you see the product of everything. So there's always a difference in everything. No two things is the same. I don't believe that. And if you do, oh well. So let's share it, share it, let's share it, let's share this. It's almost 9 o'clock. You guys, I can't even keep up with this thing because now we're sharing a group. When you say it's like a stacks of everything you're sharing together. So, oh Lord, TM, I did that. So yeah, it's unfortunate that there are kids involved in this whole ice thing. And um, one thing, if there was two messages that, let's just say I whisper something in your ears, and I told you to tell, let's just say I came out whisper something in your ear, and I say, hey, tell this person, tell that person, tell this person, tell that person. By the time that message get to the last person, it's already been changed. Well, basically what I'm trying to say is the president may have his agenda and what he's doing and how he wants to do it. The people that are implementing it, those are the people that are probably the way in which they're doing. That's what I would say I have a problem with. But I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to get you guys. I think I'm going on a slippery slope here, so I would just let it be. I already addressed that person. Let me just leave it alone. Oh Lord. Mm-mm-mm. I'm going on a slippery slope, so let's just leave it how it is. But yeah, it's 1 minute before 9. Why I keep sharing it to the same thing over and over? Mm, 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 sure yeah. So this year, my birthday is coming. It is 9 o'clock. Let's jump into it. So hopefully, you guys are ready for February. You know, February is the love month. River says pro. River says pro said Jesus came from an immigrant background. Yes, he did. We are from an immigrant background, but he came through the proper channel. You guys, I'm an immigrant. Everybody is an immigrant. And River says pro coming in. Nice. Hey, welcome, stranger.
Like who me?
Yo,
Look at trouble there one day and you see trouble. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your whole original crew there, what the other guy Andrew and all of them ran away.
the
They
people
left
ain't
that
running
time.
away.
I was here for almost so then now so that mean the stranger. You see?
I will give you hot and small, man.
But there's a great topic. But let me chip in. I know you're still doing a share myself share. But
Yeah.
you have people that on their political gossip all over the place. So, but
You know what, Anthony? I can make John the gossip then.
yeah, but I'm trying to slow down their politics too much, getting too toxic. But I got few of my good friends. They going back and forth with each other, and I've been seeing the yeah, it's kind of like it's too much. Like I don't want to side with anybody.
Right.
They are great women, yeah, in the Liberian community and thing. So I think at this time, we should be focusing on a lot of things that are going on in our community. That's why I love this social platform once in a while. But
Yeah.
to the immigration thing you were talking about, like I said, everybody know that on Facebook I supported Donald Trump. But I think what happened when I went to, I think I told you guys when I went to vote,
Mhm.
something down on me. Maybe one of my friends said that I have a weak mentality because he's a Christian too. He must say we talk about Dana. We talk about the ills of the society, homosexuality, and
Right.
boys in girls' bathroom, and a lot of the ills that Donald Trump was going to eradicate. That was one of the reasons we you know I personally, he had his reason. He being he just a Trump freak, but for me it was just but when I went to vote for I don't know, for some reason, like I said on this platform, something held me back from voting for Trump, and I
Right.
voted for Kamala Harris, even with everything that maybe my decision at that time was very narrow and thing, but one of the key reasons that turned me back. was the issue of immigration. Because I look at my story, the way I came to the United States, and a long story we man can talk of from place to place. Yeah, as an immigrant
I
from
know we
Guinea
all
to,
have our story, trust
yeah,
me. Yeah.
for Guinea to Ivory Coast, and we know how people buy space, all the things we can talk over here, So
Yeah.
some of us, but there are people who not everyone came to America perfectly, and there were people who so many things happen in the camp. Even the DV program, we know that so many things we can say here. But
Yeah.
so I thought on it. I said no, and I have family who are immigrants who are not criminals,
Right.
who are illegal immigrants, but they are not criminals. So I said, but and then I think about the Bible. I said, well, if I'm, yeah, okay, so the homosexual and all these people, is it because of them? Yeah, I mean, who am I? Yes, I mean, I don't condone it, but remember, they say the just shall suffer with the unjust. So,
Hmm.
and so I thought, I said, so because you see homosexual, but there are people who genuinely, they are illegal here with, they got their children here, they came here, they work hard for a living and thing, but just because I don't like homosexual people or just because I don't like gay or people, does that mean that I should vote for Trump? If I vote for Trump, Trump deporting these people, I have people that for that was my feed that just me. And then recently, as I look at these eyes, people yanking children from, I've been watching some video yanking children from their mothers and thing, and how excited these guys look like. I'm like, I can't even see myself doing that kind of. I couldn't even work in a nursing home when somebody died for poor. I got so emotional and
Right.
I ran away. I think I told you guys this story. That's how
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I live. So I'm a kind of person, even though sometimes we talk tough on things, but when it comes to emotion, I get quickly emotional. I see people yanking grand old ladies that been in this place, their grandchildren being knowing and being taking care of them. And I said no. And then I think about Jesus. Recently I was thinking about the genealogy of Jesus Christ. And
Hmm.
I was talking in my Bible study a few times. And I noticed, I said, wait a minute. Jesus came from a generation or genealogy that was what? Technically, Jesus came from the lineage of David. If
Hmm.
David was in today's world, he would have been locked up and deported or whatever. David raped Bathsheba. Whichever way you look at it. And that's Jesus' genealogy though. So David raped Bathsheba because that the sex he had with that woman was not consensual. Number two, David killed Uriah. So David is
Hmm.
a murderer. He's a fornicator. He killed Uriah to take Uriah's wife. But this is the genealogy that Jesus that we worship come from. And if God can forgive those kind of people, who am I? And then or even when his first son died, when God punished him, then Bathsheba gave birth to Solomon. And guess what? Of all people, Solomon was the one that built the temple. So many things I think on as an immigrant, so many things as I think on. And when you look at the whole 12, where you think Jesus was, all those 30, Jesus, when Caesar Augusta made that decree, whoever the emperor was, what happened? Jesus then left and ran into Egypt. So it should tell you the importance that Jesus ran to Egypt because what Mary wanted Jesus' life to be spared. So Jesus, I don't know whether it was illegal or legal, but one thing I know, Jesus was an immigrant into Egypt. And up to now, it's still questionable all the 30 year where he was. He started his ministry at 30. We saw him 6 years in the temple. From there, we didn't see him. We didn't hear nothing until he began 30. Then when you look at the 12 tribe of Israel, Jacob, what happened? They all were immigrant in Egypt. So you look at the whole genealogy of Jesus and you look at a lot of things surrounding it. I am convinced that I shouldn't just I'm convinced that I made the right choice to vote for Kamala, even though I support some aspect of Donald Trump thing. But then I don't want to look at gay and homosexual as the only sin in this world. As much as it is despicable, I think I'm looking at it from the broader picture. So I rest my case. That was my own, and still to this day, I believe I made the right choice to make that U-turn. I believe something touched me. Yep.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. And I totally understand, and I feel like, welcome to the show, Peterson. He please put his head in the dark. Um, I totally agree. I mean, when I sit and think about, I've seen some videos, and it's very unsettling, honestly, to see children and things like that. But then when you sit and think back and say, hey, I know it's not just about homosexuality. It's not just about, the rhetoric and all of that. But when I sit and think about everything else and why, like the whole idea of undocumented citizen, is that I get it. We all know someone that's undocumented, but the whole idea of that was if they're causing trouble and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at it and you compare it during election time, and you're like, well, if you've been here and you're undocumented and you know you're here, you don't have it. Why are you causing problem? Why are you getting in trouble? Why are you creating this? Why are you creating that? And then I heard somebody even send me a DM. They were like, well, even people on TPS, they're sending them back.
Yep.
But remember, right? I get that, right?
Mm-hmm.
TPS is a temporary status, right? Why
Mm-hmm.
you're here is another thing too. I'm just thinking in my head, knowing who I am. I know the status that I'm on and know what's going on. I will do my best to see how best I can make myself permanent, right?
True. True.
And I'm sitting thinking, like, why did it take you? There are some people been here over 30, 40 years. There was those moments back in the days when some of our people were coming back in the 1990s and the 2000s. It was so easy. The process was so easy to transition over. And I'm sitting thinking, like, okay, what were you doing back then? And I'm not saying that justify how these people that are implementing these policies, I'm not saying they're doing it the right way. I think they're doing something wrong, the way in which they're going about it. But the idea behind it, I don't think is wrong, because I feel like everybody has the right to, you came here, right? We
Mm-hmm.
all know how we each came here. And you were able to push yourself to get to where you're at right now, to be out of that rhetoric, right?
Yep.
So I'm just thinking, like, okay, did you not separate yourself and try to figure out how to get it? Because I can name, well, I'm not going to name people. I know of, I can count on two hands and toes, my 2 feet and toes, of people who've been here and is absolutely not taking advantage of the opportunity. Because I remember a few years back when, I believe when Joe was in office, President Joe Biden, right? When he
Yep.
was in office, I remember when he started, there was this thing that he implemented. I don't really remember, but it implemented that so many people could become legal, right?
Yep.
And what happened? Why didn't you seek that opportunity to do that? So in my thinking is like, no, you like your status, you make that decision. You're not a little child, you know where you're at. You're not in your native country. You could have made all the necessary steps and you choose not to. Because at that point that is a choice. Nobody forced you not to. You could have seeked further. And being Liberian, I don't know if a lot of people are aware, you were colonized by US, and we had so many opportunities of so many things we could have sought out. And if I'm being honest, my husband's right there. When I was thinking about doing this whole podcast, some of those informations were things that I wanted to share to the general public in our community, things that I know that I could share that people could actually seek out, like how to go through your process and things like that and get that. But anyway, we passed that because when I started my first few episodes, I was doing it, giving information how you can go to school for free without getting too many. If even you took loan, the most you would probably take is like maybe $5,000 your whole school year. Like I was sharing those and trying to give out links. Where do you go? Check out your community delegates and all that. But our community, and I'm saying like the African community, do not take interest into that. So if you came here and you don't take interest in taking advantage of the opportunities that are there, because nothing lasts forever. And you didn't do that, and you are here just sneaking around tables, around on the tables for a good 30 years.
See,
I
to small.
mean,
Let me tell what I call quickly. I know you come. Sorry for.
okay,
I know people
no
that
worries.
own a decker. You know, I
Hmm.
know people. You know, it's a lot of people went through something that we don't know. It could be financial reason. I know there's one
Right.
person. I'm not gonna mention for for the sake of their own privacy. They had
Mm-hmm.
tried came here as decker, tried to get an American. You know how people marry people, but things have
Right.
just not worked out. We have prayed for that girl. We have done a lot of things. Very good girl. She's to get an American boyfriend, thing, and took the regular routes and started. Sometimes it ain't even my uncle told me this one story. He came here a long time ago, fee. They met to me three different women. The last one they met to me a lot. It was sad, but he said he had this woman, and for them to go in the court to go get married, fee that woman got high like kite, like uncle king. They're looking for that woman all over the place. She can't show up. Imagine the time for you to go get me to go get your paper. She's supposed to be there. So a lot of people went through obstacle. And lastly, they want to touch me feed that something like you said, you made a great statement. These people, wow, know that yes, fee, I want all the criminal when it comes to criminals, gang, and thing. Forget it. Yes, I'm on board. But then recently they asked this guy called the court to home and he said there's something called collateral. So for example, God forbid, if they're looking
Mhm,
for me in fee house or something like that,
mhm,
fee is my sister. They're looking for me. And once they come in that house, remember how the Mexican, Hispanic people and other African the people live in group. Like I go to my sister house, say they're looking for me, they been tracing me. Every other person that in my sister house that I get paper, they're not criminal. So that's what they do now. Then they ask the man, say, but I thought you said you're going after criminal. He said, well, they are collateral. Now I'm like, Jesus Christ. And those collateral are grandmother. There are people who committed. I saw this one old lady being in this country I don't know for how many years. And when she married her grandchildren, she was part of the collateral because they were looking for, I don't know, one of her relatives. So you see, that's how people, so that's just one of the things that really touched me, that really hurt me. I was watching a video. This one lady was swearing and cursing the people. I think she was Hispanic, but I think she got citizenship. She said, "Oh,
Who
all
she,
she do,
who she showing to?
yeah, all she do is go to work and mind her children."
She's
She was
showing to
talking.
us now. Who now? Who she's showing now? I want to know that.
No, no, she was swearing the ICE
Crossing,
officer. I don't even
crossing.
know. I don't even
Oh,
know
she
how
a
some.
person?
Yeah, cursing at me. I don't even know how. I don't even know how people. I don't even know how people do the kind of work. I can't even be a police
But
officer in this
but
country.
honestly, I don't think that's the intention behind the ice. I think that's individual doing certain things. In my opinion, I don't think that's the instruction, and that's why the general public and the news are very very upset, and there's stuff undercover that they're working on to stop that. But I feel for the people, and I watched some of the video. It's very difficult to watch,
Yep.
but I'm just saying what I'm saying, right?
Mhm.
I don't regret my vote. I'm seriously telling you guys, I don't regret my vote because I just feel like I voted on the things that I thought was most important to me and that I felt like was going to get taken care of. And that's what I voted on. Now, the other part about the whole immigration process part, that's important to me, but to a certain degree. And for me, I just feel like I'm just sitting here thinking, like, yes, I understand. And there's so much, like, we all went through different process of coming to the United States. My process may have been different, but I've also been part of some people's lives that have been through the process and their
Mhm.
process is different. But I will tell you, I understand people get married to people and all that. Like, choose wisely. It's not every Joe Blow that pass around you're going to be choosing.
Fee, I know many men will come and disagree. How many times we have not talked about relationship on the show yet?
I know.
Not everybody can get their first shot I've seen people go through multiple divorce. We were just talking about divorce and separation for multiple reasons. So sometimes some people just things don't work out. Some people, we don't
I
want to into
know.
immigration issue. We can discuss everything here, but
Yeah,
sometimes it's sometimes a lot of these things spiritual. It can,
I
it
know.
just don't work out. So I think what's up, Peterson?
You're mute. Unmute yourself.
Sorry. I see what I'm speaking. You guys not hearing me.
Yeah, we yeah, you.
How are you
We're
guys?
trying to read your lips. What you're
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
I'm just
Uh,
laughing, something like that. And
Yeah.
thank you so much. I don't know. I thought it was our topics. Now that you guys
No,
want to
we're
discuss,
gonna jump on our topic real quick,
you
but
guys,
yeah, I just
a lot of
appreciate.
people DM me, right? A lot of people DM me, and they were talking about, oh, you see what's happening. You were so vocal about President Trump. You voted for him, and all of this. And I'm like, yes, I was. So that's why I decided to address that. Like, I don't regret my vote. I'm sorry.
but I want to say this though.
Uh huh.
In every bad thing there is good thing.
Right.
Mhm,
And if it is determined as from your own perspective, how bad is that thing?
mhm,
The immigration aspect of Trump activities, it is being overly done. That is
Thank
the
you.
only side.
mhm. Yep, I
It's being
agree.
overly done. Like I was listening to the Senate tried to invite some experts to give them American Senate now try to
Mhm,
give them the other side of the immigration process, looking at it from the military perspective, the economic aspect, the professional that are working, or they are just together. But there was something shocked me when I listened to one black guy from Sierra Leone, very eloquent, and he's one of the chief investigators in Philadelphia. You know what shocked me? He
mhm,
was 7 years old when they took him to America during the war. And then he remained there when he was 18 years old. The first time he went to get his driver license, it was when he got to know that he was undocumented.
mm.
Can you imagine from 4 years old, right? 4 years old to 18 years old when you went for your driver license and you got to know you were undocumented. Now, what shocked me is not only that, how you manage to become a investigator in a system if you are undocumented. Now, you did that, you are investigating other criminals.
Mhm,
Up to now, he was brave, and even he's not documented, he admitted that to the Senate, that he's not
mm.
documented, but there are a lot of life that surround him, that are tied to him now because of his recent income. He married an American citizen. What am I saying? I'm just pointing this out to see that there are professional people who are undocumented and contributing immensely to the American society, to the
Yes,
economic
yes,
growth of
yes,
America.
yes,
And these people, because they are just all of them under the war, undocumented, they are
yes,
being targeted right now. That's the
exactly.
downside of it.
Yep.
And when I listen to the economic aspects that gave what would take America
Mm,
to deport 13 million human beings from America, it's going to be over 200 billion. So now, the undocumented aspect, it could be a few $1 million to take them out of America. Now
mm,
going after everybody.
mhm.
The criminals, when they are going only after the criminal, they're going to take them a few millions.
Yep.
But let's say they're going after everybody,
11 million.
they're going to
Wow.
take them 11 million, they're going to take them 200 billion to do that. So what will be America's strength?
Right.
What is
So
America's strength?
And
Diversity is America's strength. Those
exactly.
people, the same undocumented people, they are being incorporated in the society, born by a citizen, and their children are becoming married. The children
Yep.
becoming how you call it, effort.
Some of
The
them
children,
die fighting for this
some of
country.
them are
Yes.
dying in the
Yeah.
war, and
Mm,
some of them
I
are
agree.
because they are going. So if you want to deport these people, and
mm,
because their connection in your military, if they resign or they decide to leave, so I feel that Donald Trump is overly doing that.
Exactly.
Instead of him going after the criminals, he just speak, he just doing it just like that.
And
But
he
again,
fooled the people. Peter said he fooled the people because now seeing
Right.
some
That's
more
what
people
I'm
will come
saying.
in.
He said,
Donald Trump is not fool. I mean, Ross says, let me tell you something. Donald Trump, I follow him. He
Mhm.
always say, I will deport. I will carry on massive deportation ever in the history of America. People who are in
well,
our country, I will
no,
get them.
but he said the criminals.
He
When he
said the
said
criminal
that,
that yeah,
he
Like
said
some
the
places,
criminals,
no.
right?
See, some
Mhm.
places he may have, maybe when you look in the crowd, you see the level of certain people he will
yep,
change
that's
things.
true.
But
Yep,
I'm
you're right.
saying don't
Yeah.
say you will
Yeah, he was
deport
playing to his audience.
massive.
He knew where
You
to
will
say
play with the
certain things.
audience. I'm
You are
telling you seriously.
absolutely right.
And one of those that follow Donald Trump, he's my man. I'm telling you, I like
And,
him because
you know something, Peterson. That's what he's saying. And look, I know we gotta
and
get
one minute
our
Rosa,
topic.
you come in. One Rosa, you
Go
come.
ahead.
That
Yeah,
is
go
the
ahead.
No,
step.
I ain't doing this
Rosa,
stuff again.
Rosa, one minute. That is the step that Kamala Harris does not know.
Yeah.
She didn't know that step.
Yep.
She get in any area and just say as she feel it's right. She
She
will
made
get
a big
somewhere.
mistake with the open border thing. That's
She
why
will,
she
she will, she
messed
will
up.
get somewhere when people start talking about Jesus Christ. Say if you think you have a Jesus,
Yeah.
this is not an area. When you know that crowd, that's a Christian crowd,
Yes. Oh
and
my
it
God.
push
That's
you,
what
he
they
makes
call
you
know
very
your
You are
clear.
audience.
absolutely
So you
right,
see,
Peterson.
you have
Yes.
to I
You
follow
gotta
them.
know your audience.
Donald Trump will get into the white congregation, the white people. He
Yep.
said, the criminals are coming, I will deport. And every one of them will go, wow.
Like, yeah,
You will
we're
get
praying for peace in our
you will
God.
get this area and
We're
say, you
praying for
guys
peace
are
on a new
playing with
weapon now to get handled again.
you guys are
I'm
playing
telling
with
you, yeah, people now are walking into and I walk into real gangster
Fee,
people.
fee, fee. We've been praying for fee. Y'all on the audience that she gave me handle an audience there. But look, Peterson, what you say?
your man,
And
I like him because even though he's a business, anyway, he's a businessman. Business people are smart people. That
yeah,
Right.
man knows the audience, he knows his
yeah.
clients, he
The
knows how
man's
to
a
approach
good
them.
salesman. The man's a
He's a
good, and Peterson, and to Tony, the economy. I sat down. One of my friends. This guy is Donald Trump whole suit. He was talking about when these people leave, uh, 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 uh those warehouses, because I don't know if you guys saw it. The whole one Amazon building was empty. One girl show was showing it. He said when the people leave, so I tagged into it. He said when the people leave, what happened? They will raise people. I said you don't understand businesses like Amazon. It's not about the money. It's about the
Yeah.
workload. And let me tell you something. We the immigrant, we don't want into that overtime thing. I see a lot of people. Yeah, I see a lot of people work. American people, because now what will happen is they start making one person do two-person job, so they're gonna put a lot of workload. American people don't want to pay too much taxes. Once they look, one guy was just crying at my job that he had to pay almost 3,000 back because he was on overtime because they couldn't. I think one guy got hurt, and the American people don't like that. Once you
They
start
don't
giving
Yeah.
these people overtime,
and there is
trust
a
me, most of
reason
these
for
people will get empty. That's why Black American. I know
there's
these
a
people.
reason for that.
They yeah, they don't want it. So it will be
They don't
serious
want to
problem with
work.
the economy. No, they don't want to work. I mean, let alone overtime. The people barely want to do 40 hours. And
Mhm.
then you go get a 60 hour. They will run away from that place. It will be a serious problem for our
It's a
economy. Look at
problem.
right now the
Anyway,
farm,
it's a
all the
problem. It's
dairy
going to be a
farms are getting
problem.
empty.
Anyway, that's why he feels, but it's going to be a problem. And what he's
Well,
doing, the good side of it, feel like come here, you support your man. The good side of it I talk about is this. Now, now that the Senate and other authority coming in,
Yep,
those that will be blessed and keep inhaling,
yep.
keep themselves more secure in hearing
Keep out of the
and
spotlight.
relative
Yep.
fast. And he is satisfied because Donald Trump, what I'm seeing now, is satisfying certain group of people. The
Mm-hmm.
thing that's going on now, Donald Trump is satisfying certain group of people. But then when he satisfied them a little bit, he will want to satisfy the other side. The other
Yeah,
side will be those that will be the undocumented people that will remain in United States,
yeah.
will
With
not
no
go
criminal
ready
record. Yeah.
with no criminal record and not in this ready. He will
Mm-hmm.
give them complete pathway for everybody documentation to
I
be
believe it. I believe it, Peterson. I believe
no,
it.
I'm just following it. I'm just
It's
telling
a
you.
strategy. It's a
Yeah.
business strategy.
Yep. Yep.
You have to satisfy certain customer. The customer that you satisfy is those that you stood before them. You say, I will deport massively wherever in the history of America. These are the people you satisfy right now. You make sure you satisfy these people. People who are undocumented and they are very good. The best thing they can do, let them start to go. Let them start to go, you know. Let me just going out like
The
let
nigga while going to basement I will not. I think they'll be feeding me.
them go mango. Let them mango and kono.
And I
And
mean about how if feed basement you'll be feeding me from the basement, be giving me
and get them body wear.
or
And
OGB student I want to be.
Thank you.
Get
He
them
said,
mango.
I didn't come and let GB two woman won't go.
And get them somewhere. After a few times, give a few times, the whole wave will go down with subside, and they are going to be documented. But whether you get your
Pretty
paper,
sleeping.
whether you are citizen or not, if you go anywhere, make sure you get your passport with you.
My
You
man,
get
I
you
carry.
get
Every time I think about copying my because you know what I did.
you
With
have
the
to get out
passport,
there.
I got the other phone. How they call that thing?
You
Said
need
the
to
guy.
have the passport ID. That's
Yeah,
what
that's
I
it.
have.
That's what I think. That's it. You need to have it.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
you need
Yeah,
to have
sign up
that.
for the
When you just
passport
do the
ID
process,
and
Uh-huh.
have it.
you just don't handle it out to
Yeah,
them.
the way I can lost thing. That's why I ain't got no plan of carrying no passport with me anywhere when it when
Because
seriously.
You guys are making this scary. It's not that.
it's
What?
the opinion.
No, me I ain't carrying no
It's
passport.
the opinion.
But wait, I thought they can tell from your driver license they can.
Yeah,
What?
these if you have the new kind that has the barcode,
Yeah.
you should be able to. It's called, I forgot what it's called, something ID. Those new ones,
Yeah,
it
because they
comes
just
with the
changed
new.
our recently. They changed it. If somebody
Yeah,
said they pay
yeah.
or they
So
pay
it
that.
will work.
Okay.
Oh my
All
goodness, you guys don't make it scary for people.
right.
Um, I think things will be okay,
Yeah,
but I just think our community needs to do more for ourselves.
that's true.
And as much as we want to blame, the US government and all of that, we got to look at our country too. Because if somebody's giving you a temporary based on what's going on in your country, we ourselves, our country need to do something. Seriously. This is a shame that we can't even say, okay, you know what? Y'all want me, I can go back to my home. You know? With all the money, do you know how much money the people who are in our country are
And
throwing on the news?
you know, Fee, I noticed something to that point you say, right? We are
Yeah.
the only person that went to DC. Do you know why the Nigerians and the other people? Because Fee, those people are prepared. Even let me tell you, I was just speaking to this one lady, a Liberian lady, but she got some Nigerian connection. She said the other Nigerian people come here, Fee, the first thing they start doing, they know they expecting that eventuality. They get the people start establishing themselves back home. They get the money, they send it, they got a house. That's why you don't see no Nigerian people going to DC to protect the four people that go to DC
Yes.
are Liberian people. Because the Nigerian people that got businesses. I said when the people look, the church are in, I saw the people there. When the people show me some of the things they got, what I said, I can look at myself, I said, check, but I'm real loose. So the people
Yeah,
the people
because
clean
we
the
come
feet.
here, we feel
People
like
got
this is our
school,
home.
hospital, fee, individual. I'm talking about stores. When I see when they post show me that thing on a thing, so these people are already prepared. That's why Nigerian people are big here. We the Liberian, you
No,
right. We
I'm
don't.
telling you, we have a radiology technician guy that he run the X-ray department, and he's Nigerian, and I was talking to him. He was like, "Oh, look," he was showing me this man built a whole radiology department, a
Oh,
whole thing in Nigeria, and he's
okay.
training people. He's buying this technology and sending it there.
Yep.
He said, I'm making it like here. I'm
Yeah.
creating my own there." And he
Yeah.
has it. The only thing he said, the people he trained, some of them, they didn't want to do the work, so he fired all of them. Now he put foreign people in there.
Yep.
They're working. But it's like, we are the only country. Do you know how many Liberians that are very well trained and equipped that are engineers? I mean, I
Yeah.
went for a work seminar one time in DC, and I was so surprised. I'm sorry that I'm saying I was surprised. I was shocked.
Hmm.
So many Liberians, like young and very, very well tech. I even know two of them very close. He is dominating the tech world and he worked for the World Bank. And I'm like, why would I? They're like, man, Felicia, that country is not ready. They ain't ready. Pharmaceutical, all these pharmacists, like I know most of them. And I'm like, why can't the guy said, listen to me. My brother doing during Ebola time, he said his brother passed away and he bought a whole thing of acres of land and he started building on there and he was planning on opening it and the people just corrupting and stole all his money because he practiced here. He can't be
Mhm.
down. They just stole all his money. He changed his mind. He said the whole foundation thing is sitting there and he was ready. There was you can get aid because he's a doctor here. They was gonna
Mhm.
help him. And some of these organizations that you're part of, when you work in the healthcare, they have a whole community you could be part of. They were all going to help to donate all these things. And he said he sent hundreds and hundreds of dollars down in Liberia when he went down with a group of people. Can't find none. Can you imagine? So we're just going to be living here the rest of our lives? Wow. You know,
Well, well,
Liberia, I mean, I know some people are like, well, what are you doing, like, bro? Well, I'm buying my land in small, 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 small. I don't plan on staying here forever. I gave myself, by the grace of God, I told myself, I only want to be in America for the next 15 years. So my kids are older. When they're older by
yeah.
themselves, me and my husband plan on shipping ourselves back home. So
I get
we're
a lot
not,
of God by the grace
yeah,
of God. I got all my last months when I used to work at it well. All my last months at least I got a place
yeah,
over there. I got with the help of my mom. I bought like almost an acre. I was
yeah.
trying to have a little clinic, but it thing wasn't just easy.
The
It
one you're
can be
talking, I
easy.
can't understand it. Oh. You're not going
Ah,
anywhere. Why you
so
still
But
we
yeah,
gotta go back to the show.
yeah, we're going back to our show now because we got a
Why
great
what
topics
is
that
Donald Trump is now?
that
I
that we're
bet
going to
do
discuss
that he
because
was elected to
I
do.
yeah I
The
want
guy
to
was
pay
elected to satisfy his people. He
yeah.
satisfied all the eyes of
He
his,
has a satisfy me too, and he already starting it. I beg ya. I regretting my vote. I'm sorry, but not sorry, y'all.
Though I
nobody they vote you
though
gave you
as
next
officer, I
time.
hold that women are paying for divorce or supposed in separation, so that the only job they see in a player.
When I get to our topic for the night,
Yeah.
um, you guys, we have to leave by 10, 10, 10
Okay.
because I really have to make it to church early tomorrow. So
Um,
let's try to see how we can cover this. But you know what? I think what we were discussing kind of aligned with this, right?
oh yeah, it is
You
paramount.
know,
Yeah, that's why most people starting that. Most people now I notice they're doing these things. So feel that's the right thing you did. We came over here. It's good because these things, it affects us too. So yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with discussing it. It was great too. Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
So it says,
seriously.
do you believe that an adult's struggle is a reflection of his or her upbringing? If so, why? Who
Look,
wants to take it
let
first?
me let me let me let me let me go first because I want to pay tribute to my dad, right?
Okay. Oh,
That's something. I told my sister one time she was crying. Oh, our mom, and the woman suffer for us. Blah blah. I said, look, I told myself if my father was alive, if I was bringing somebody to America, my mother born me. I know she went through the 9 month thing, but my father was going to be the first. Oh, my sister, she didn't really understand what I was saying. But there's a quote, there's a little statement once in a while I see on Facebook. They say there's one person that always want you to be better than them, and that's your father.
Exactly. That's
And
it.
Peterson, every time I see that thing, tears come from my eye because I did not live up to my father's expectation at some point, and I felt he was very disappointed. That's why, and this is my first time saying it in public because we are family. That's why, and even that come a time my father sent me to this prestigious high school here, and I dropped out 1 year, and I could see the pain in him. Because I took my school fee and did it, so I still graduated, but at that point, that's why when my daughter did that thing to me that I told Fee about, I kind of went back and said, "Yeah, maybe my father, because I'm his first son. And maybe because of what I did, maybe that's how God way up and so I can feel the same thing my daughter out of college, and I explained the whole story to Fee, about when the college and thing and pregnancy and thing.
Yeah.
I said maybe that's how. Now I saw how my father felt when I dropped out of high school that time. Out of high school, when he put his money, put his effort, everything he did for me. So maybe that's how I feel because my blood pressure went up and everything. So to that point, I believe my father. Even though, look, guys, my father was, he was a tailor and he was sewing clothes. But for some reason, Peterson and Fee, every time, because when I come from school, Galley Street, I used to stay with him and then we'll go home. Every time I want to sew, I pick up, that man used to be mad with me. He told me, I said, what? He said, I don't want you to be a tailor. I don't want you to be like me. Can you imagine? My father wanted me to be a doctor. He said, I want you to be greater than me. He said, you see the
Mm.
tailoring work we do. How many times you can see customer coming? But feed that man, when I saw him, my father would frown his face. He did not want me to follow that. Why he followed? He told me, he said, that's why I'm giving you the best education and things. So to this topic, I think our upbringing, yes, to some extent. And I
Yeah.
said to some extent because, and I don't know, this might sound controversial, but I think
Right.
on the flip side, and I even made that comment out there. I don't know why you guys think about it. I
Yeah,
think,
I see
yes,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is true, but we African, we have a way of beating the odds.
I
Whereas
agree.
Americans, I notice they blame like feet. We don't, when things didn't work, even when feet come from a dysfunctional family, feet come to America, you won't, yeah, feet would say, well, for the sake of record, we on these shows and things,
Right.
part of her. But Fee would not necessarily cast blame on her parents for everything in her life. We always fight the odd. We always beat it. We always come into this country and to the first thing you were saying, regular Fee, when you said there were people who been here 30 years and they did not. That's why, because African mentality, we are meant to push ourselves. In America, a lot of these people, oh, my mom was there, and you will notice they will follow that same trend because their mom was on food stamp. You will notice a
Yeah.
whole generation of children will be on that food stamp because why? They are upbringing. But we African, yes, we go through struggle, but yes, we beat the odds, and a lot of times, majority of the time, we always come out victorious. So yeah, I would say yes to some extent, but I think it depends on the mentality of an individual.
I agree. I agree. Wow.
So, so
Riverside, just quick, I want to tell Riverside, I'm pretty sure your dad is super proud of you.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think he's
yeah.
super proud
That's
of
why.
you.
That's why he came back like my son. Yeah, I told you. I said the guy looked
Oh,
at everything
oh
he done
really?
is just the old man came right. He said, "I'm coming follow you in America." No different from him. Everything.
Thank
right.
God.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah, he's super proud where he is. I believe that strongly.
yeah. Thank you,
Go
Fee.
ahead. Go ahead, Peterson. Thank you
So,
for sharing, man.
Okay.
that the paradox of it of life. I believe upbringing, making who you are, is relative.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's the paradox of life. In economics, we have something we call vicious circle of poverty. But that particular circle, somebody can live from that circle.
Yeah.
And that's why he talk about beating the arm. Beating that's the one we talk about it, and it's definitely, Mr. President, you can go ahead. Or I'm in another program, please.
You want to do two meetings
I
at
will
the
do.
same
I will do.
time? Then they can multitask.
Yeah, so sorry. I'm sorry, man, people.
It's okay.
This is like Liberian City of Canada. That's the thing.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So when you in that circle, it takes certain thing, certain spirit, certain power, certain push to take you
Yeah.
out of that circle. And when you get into another circle, it is difficult to leave that other circle. Now, exactly like River says here, African go through hell. African can go through lot of things. And if you see an African, that's why you see an African come to America or anywhere or travel or working anywhere. You see there are a lot of people hinting on that person for sponsorship, for support, and a lot of stuff. Because apparently he's the only person that was able to beat that eye and get out. So your upbringing, sometimes it keep you down or it make you who you are. And sometimes it change you. Now, let's look at, I know the mean that topic is looking at either the positivity or the negativity of an adult. I know that's
Right.
what the topic is looking at. I'm just playing around how it works in a lot of people's life. But yes, when it comes to that, I can say yes. And again, you can change. Yes, in a sense, when you come up with your parent, and some parent, see, they are very toxic. And
Yeah.
that's the one that people can say, my daughter will not marry in our family. And that's the one you will see the woman will say, my son will not marry from our family. That woman daughter, my son can marry that woman daughter. And that's the time you'll see the Muslim will say, we will not allow other religion to join our family or join our society and something to marry to us. They believe that when their daughter, their son can marry from them and bring them, they would treat their children from that particular lady. But when their daughter go and get married and born their children will be like them. So they don't want their daughters to go there. That is the main reason for which people make those kind of you know decisions. Some are not good and some are like to back themselves up because the thing that upbringing, your background, your tradition has serious impact on you. That is it. When religion, the reason why religion comes in, when religion comes in and people change, like for example, things fall apart. When you read that book where you also talking about
I
when
read that book.
when when you see that the way people get there and start all of the education and what have you, then some people start standing tall because they have grabbed the education and invade the tradition and something like that. So I agree that the upbringing can work, but change is there. When change take place, you can also completely leave that particular tradition and you become a different person.
Right. Break the cycle, right?
That's a cycle. You break the cycle.
Yeah. So when I was thank you so much for that. I agree too. I think every decision you make for your family, for your children, it really shaped their entire paradigm. But then that one person in that family has to have the drive, to say, you know what, we have to. I don't know if you guys have heard the generational curse, right?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
we gotta break that
Yep, yep.
generational curse, you
True.
know. I remember when we were growing up because I don't know, honestly, I don't know if I really remember my early childhood much because I felt like I was moving around too much. Um I lived with my mom for a little bit. I lived with my grandmom for a little bit. Then my last stop was with my eldest brother, who's been on this show before, the Reverend Say Pensy. And I really own a lot of my upbringing to him and his wife because I feel like they really said at that time, as a child, you don't really understand what they're doing, but my brother is, I don't think I've ever really told him this, but a lot of my behaviors and the way I think and act is really from him. And I think he can tell, because I feel like he didn't really have the opportunity to be a child and to grow up because, I was like, I think if I'm not speaking out of terms, I think I was the youngest for our dad, and the war broke out when I was like before I could even right when I was born, there was war going on, and my brother, he wasn't older enough, but he had to play like the dad's role. And every time I sit and think about it, when I think about Americans, right, like River says Pro said, when I think about him as that 13 or 14-year-old child, you know trying to be the dad and the husband and the father for all these children, and then making the decision that he made, like going with the flow and just deciding whatever he can do for us all to be okay, is very admirable. And I'm like, wow, how did he even do that? Right now a 13-year-old tell you, I don't know how to do that. I don't know, like, what am I gonna do? But when I sit and think about it and I see how he navigate his life. A lot of people right now, I think I posted something on my story that says something that we're not talking about is what historians are going to study in the future about today, right? A lot of things that are happening, what historians are going to be talking about, things that are happening in 2024, 2025. We're talking about all these ICE things, and they're not talking about these mental health. When you think about it, the amount of money the health industry is making from just mental health diagnosis is crazy. And, disclaimer, I am not an expert in that topic, just giving my opinion on what I've read and seen. But I say this because a lot of young folks, instead of standing in that gap, like what my brother did, to be the father figure and, trying to figure his way out when he didn't even know what to do in a situation that was happening, and, like just thinking critically and putting us in the position that we will not end up bad. And when I think about my two sisters, my brother, when I look at my entire family line and I see where we are at right now, I'm like, wow, he should be so proud of himself, because he literally raised all of us and neglected himself and his wife and his family and all the girls. I think it's safe to say everybody is in a position where they're able to take care of themselves. There was no, like teenage pregnancy. There was none of those things that people can worry about. But I remember the things he used to say is, um, when you go out there, I think it's even funny. I think I was like 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old. I remember this day to this day. When you go out there, whatever you do, you represent me. So if you come back in this house, I'm gonna treat you this way. And up to this day, every time I think about this, everywhere I'm at, and when I'm about to do certain things, I'm like, remember you represent him. So, so I'm just saying, like, that little voice, that inner voice always kicked in. I remember when I was in college, there was one time I was so tough, I almost like got out of it. And then that voice just hit me like, remember, when you're out here, you're representing my name. Like it keep hitting in my ears all the time. And I feel like he was really, really tough. And we were all mad. We all had our feelings about it. But now, when I sit and think about it, and I look at other people around my age that went through the same thing, like they didn't have parents, they had their siblings, and their siblings picked different paths to like just abandon them, and they were just left alone to do whatever they wanted to do. But he was always willing and ready to figure out what's the next best things for us to do. Instead of him going to school at 13 years old, he didn't go to school. He was trying to figure out for us to go to school. And we don't have a dad. He's young, and our mom, she was young. She's not educated. So what's gonna happen? So I really do feel like not just your parents, but certain people that God placed in your life as your guardians, when they make certain decisions, it shapes your entire life. And when you get there as an adult, if you want to flip it, that voice is still in your head. So I definitely agree that your upbringing definitely determine your struggles, because If you can't buy food for yourself, you can't eat and things like that, you're lazy. If that's something you watch your parents doing, they just want to get by just to get by, I feel like it's gonna rub off of you. You're gonna do the same thing. So I
So
definitely
so
agree with that.
so Fee, let me in line
Hmm.
with the with our discussion, let me just throw in the word privilege or privileges
Right,
and
right.
and how it impact. Okay, so let me use my own pastor as my pastor's son. He's sport, and so and so are most pastor, and we all know not other than though, but I don't know
Yeah.
for some reason. So do you guys think um being overprivileged uh I mean, does it also affect our say okay? Because see, let me just use an example. When I was in school, for some
Mhm.
reason I was from my father a tailor, mother is a marketer, but I fared better in education, in my intelligence at that time than
Mhm.
people who, in the schools I went to. Like I said, my dad sent me to this school because he was one of the person that said, show me your friend to know who you. He sent me to those school where those money people, children, those come up, because his things were he wanted me to grow up with those people that tomorrow I wouldn't, I can see them, because
Suffer.
yeah,
Yeah.
he envisioned that they were ministers' children, so they were going to be in a higher up. So he had me mingling with them. So tomorrow that I won't suffer, looking for jobs, some of those because that's how I used to be during those days, back then. Yeah, my father, especially during those time, people gave good recommendation. So do you think when we get overprivileged, is it a good thing too, or is it a bad thing? Because if we you know, do you think our situation that we came out and feel or Peterson will say, yeah, it make me stronger. But what if we flip it around? What if Fee came out like Trump or like Trump parent? I'm just using an example. Or
I
Peterson
just
came
want
out
to answer you.
in a privileged home. Peterson, do
I
you think?
wish.
Yeah, do you do you guys think it would have changed your life? For the negative, or I mean, you will still be who you are.
This is let me say this to it. I was trying to grab what I read. I was trying to grab that stuff, but especially when we were talking about it, I was trying to grab it now. But the concept I read from that particular stuff is this: there are impacts on whatever status you are. You get long run and you get a short range impact. The short run impact or the short range impact is you doing something today because you are in how you call it, a poor background. You're from a poor background, a less
Right.
privileged background. You strive, break that eye. You want to get out of that. You want to get something. You started working hard. You work hard, and you become accomplished. You got established. You get your children. Everybody have left from that particular zone, that poverty zone, and get to certain area. And your generation, starting with you who left that particular surface, is going to be better for the next 2 3 generation. In the third generation, where you brought your children, they will go up from that level. Definitely, their children coming are not going to be like them. They're going to go up the next step.
Right.
The following step will be at the accomplish the peak. Certain level is going to be the peak. All these children to that level, they are like they don't care because everything surrounds them. They don't care. In fact, education is going to be problem. Most of them, and not all of them. Some of them will be determined still, and it will take about 4 5 6 generations before they start to decline. And that's the growth trend. The same way you see the growth trend in the life of a plant, it can be in the life of human being or generation. So when they reach to
Wow.
that level, they start becoming, useless. I'm sorry to say that. They start becoming like they don't care. So the business, if for example you left business with them, you'll see some of them start to sell the business.
Yes, that's true. Yep,
They
yep.
sell the business, take the money and start to do different thing with it. They start to do absolutely different thing. And when you have a legacy stuff, this is why you see in the Nigerian movie or other people, they don't play with legacy. If you
Yeah.
see your father legacy, they don't play with it. They don't even want to sell it. If there's a
Yes.
piece of land their father live with them, they don't
Yep.
sell it.
Yeah.
Family will come and be there and go and come and be there. They will still be. So when you reach to that peak, definitely you'll start descending. So that is like you see the people you're talking about, the Trump and others family you talk about, their generation, Trump may have been to the fifth, sixth generation before he got our wealth. He came from somewhere. Especially when they migrated to America. They were not a wealthy, that generation was not a wealthy. They were maybe back down the line where they're suffering people, and they started doing their ancestors started working harder. Like for example, we are here in a European country. I mean, let's say the Western world today, and that is one way you see your children. Those that are here with you, we start to get, and when it go back generation upon generation, you will see that's where we get a black American in now over there, and some of them living on food stamp. But
Right.
where were they when they came first? Back to slavery day, they were slaves, and when they came from there, those after the slavery were abolished, those that came from there they became better. That family started getting better. They went to a certain level, and get to that level they were perplexed, complacent, and start to come down. And you see now they are getting full stamp. And you know from full stamp, the next place you go in, I will not tell you. From
Disability.
living, from living on full stamp, the next place you go in, either under the bridge.
No
You
disability.
that's it now. The one saying disability that is better. Disability, you still be saying that, you still be into that. But you go under the beach now, then you come and take something in your hand to go
Don't
back. So, and
don't forget about radio assistant too.
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah. All the assistance.
all the
I wish
assistant,
they
all
could
the
give me
assistant.
some. They people that buy that you working, they can give it to you.
Uh-huh. So that's it. So I mean, what you say is true. When you reach to that peak, you can descend. You can descend. And by that time, you realize will not be around. See your father. See your wife, Papa day. Now you think you say that behind machine is sewing. You're not sewing. And your children coming to you, you fighting to be more than you. And those are children that they didn't know how your father brought you up. That's the first thing. They were born to see you in America. And what they know is they lost in America. That's what they know. They didn't even know where they come from. We all said down there, where
That
they come from. They
that's
didn't know
true.
where their grandpa used to be sitting down behind machine and doing this. They didn't care.
Yep.
Their children's children, they don't going to know about you, whether how you manage to come to America, how you get life to this one, they don't care. So we just saying that to say there is certain thing, and it's good. This point, I just want to make this point. It's good
Yeah.
wherever you try to sit with your children, talk to them. The message
Yeah.
to be, please pass my message up to your children
That's
and let
true.
them to pass it on to their children. If you want to give them history about your life, and like we were discussing about family last time, I said it's better that your offspring know the history about yourself.
That's true.
Those that are better, those that you are better with, those that you move with. What are your common understanding? What are some things that you do? What are some different things you do? If you have your children, sometimes you sit and you talk to them, let them understand, and tell them that look, this is where we come from, this is where we are, and our fathers, my father, my grandfather, this is how they were, and as you go in, you get your children, sit with them, pass on to them the message. Let them know from where they come from and what is our value. It's better we tell
Yeah.
them. When you tell them after 4, 5, 6 decades, my brother,
But
nobody will be using
fee,
you again.
fee, but fee, I know you're kind, but let me just throw the question at you. Why you just killed two birds with one stone? So do you think in a relationship, it's a so as far as our upbringing, the one we're talking about, since it if it does reflect if it's a reflection, it's so important to let our partner know. Say for example, you had an American man, right? I know hobby
Mhm.
how do you call it, hobby that American. Uh,
Oh, la pasa por.
that original, yeah, that my countryman. Okay, say you had an American guy who is not accustomed to, when we talk about Boston Parkland, man, looking at you like, what the hell, you talk about Peterson, talk about Peterson got it first. Peterson got an American where say, oh, we used to go down the creek to go get what. Look at you like, what the heck is he talking
I will
about?
take you to Lima. Yeah.
So, 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 do you think do you think it is important for us to explain to our relationship if in relationship that did not come up through that struggle, like I say, an American or some foreigner that did not have that life? Is it important for us to tell them so that they know why we are doing certain things the way maybe when I tell the children, come on, you manage that, yeah, that sugar over there, I just bought that sugar yesterday because he or she from America used to them, they got used to the kind of life. But I'm managing, but he or she looking at me like, wait, what's going on? Do you think it's important for us to uh tell them our upbringing and why and how how it is reflecting our life so that it does not impact our relationship, or we just don't put things out there so we don't look like some kind of primitive people. He or she came from the primitive society where they couldn't even afford sugar. They gotta tell the children, they gotta measure the sugar for the children to use.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the key things that will even keep your relationship going. I think when people know why you're doing certain things is
Hmm.
very, very important. I don't even think you should just tell them. I think you should show them. I think they should visit your country
I
Hmm.
and
agree.
experience it
Oh,
because that's very important. And I'm just gonna add that was one of those reasons why I felt like my life would not be best with somebody that is not from my country because I love making my best food in my country.
you're right. You're right. You're
See,
right.
and some of them let us, some of them don't let seafood. I used to live in this one place. I saw for
Yeah,
Africa food. The woman can she can be failing the place. She will put she will run away from the house. Yeah, go ahead.
I knew that would not work because no, I can't. I'm sorry. I know I like the American food. I can make it, but no, 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 no. If you can't deal with it, I'm sorry. Like we were just and I don't have the patience to be making you something else. Then I made myself something else. No, no. So, so because of that, no. But to answer your first question really quickly,
Hmm.
I think being privileged, I think is the individual thing
Okay.
because I feel like I've seen the difference between that. I had the opportunity to interact with people from different backgrounds,
Hmm.
and I know a family that are very wealthy, and I know another family that's very wealthy, and I see their family life. I just think it's all about how you raise your children,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay.
And I also think it's also about people destiny and their purpose on earth,
Hmm.
right?
Okay. Okay.
Because um let's not talk about the people that I know. Let's look at Donald Trump, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Donald Trump's come from a privileged family and from what we know, right?
Yeah.
And we also know his children, we see their lives as well.
Yeah.
And from the story he shared and things like that. So that's another example we can look at, right?
Yeah.
I just think in our community, it's very sad though, a lot of wealthy people within our community, I'm just talking about African in general, right?
Yeah.
I think we have a different concept of, and I believe now we're changing that concept a little bit,
Yeah.
how we raise our children when we are wealthy. But when I was little, when I watched people that are wealthy, the idea that their children were not, the rules didn't apply to them,
Hmm.
and they were set to a different standard compared to people that live with them.
Yeah.
So when you look at their life ended up differently than what the people that actually live with them that were from, like the less fortunate
That's true.
family,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think it's all about the concept and how you raise your children because and now when you look at these people that quote unquote are called high value men and women that are being married, These men are looking for women that will stay home and be able to properly train their children to let their legacy go. And when I think about that, when you look at the Caucasian culture, we do see some of the kids get off the handle because they don't have those high value women that can raise the children in a way that the man actually want them to. And
Mm-hmm.
then the kids end up, how we call it, wayward, with,
Yeah.
way on the wayside, like they jump into drugs and all of that. But when also you see the other side where there's structure and they have a woman that's also believing and following that man's vision and structure, and they're raising, they have certain rules and regulation, the
Mm-hmm.
children tend to end out a different way. And I'm not saying this is like proving, but from what I have noticed,
Mm-hmm.
like it end up being a different thing. And also, again, like I said, every individual is on this earth with their own purpose, and there's certain things I really do believe, like we all are here for certain type of purpose for our family to learn and to use those purpose for a different, whatever circumstances it is. Like maybe let's just say, I'm gonna claim it, I don't want to be rich, but who knows.
You you already reached in Jesus' name.
Amen, amen. But let's say I have two children, right? I have a boy and a girl. Let's say God bless me one day, I become a millionaire out of the blue. And then my children, I'm just like not focused on them and just let them dictate their own life and do whatever. We already know how that's going to end,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
um that is already predestined, because God already gave you the structure that in the heart of a child this foolishness is bound there. So it doesn't matter whatever they do, they're trying to figure their own way out. They will figure out whatever works for them in that moment. But if I become a millionaire and I have the same structure, hey, you wake up at this time, you do this, you're not allowed to go there, you're not, like, that structure is kept until that individual become an adult. Then when they become adult and decide to make their own decision, like what Peterson was saying, the legacy get left behind and it's not valued because that's not meant for them, then it's gonna die there. So I really think is a individual differences thing with that privilege thing, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me, you struck a point, and it just reminded me about my late uncle. So, uh, he actually came up, grew up with the Congo people, back in those days. So he came from the interior, from Rivers, and they brought him. So he adopted their names. You know how it used to be back then. He had his dad name in the middle, the bastard
Yeah,
dad name. Then he had a Congo name, Mexico, in at the end. But there was a difference. So you're right, it's the individual. So Mexico people, they actually had their own children. They had their own children. But for some reason, my uncle, that man, he used that opportunity. You know how back then they say, oh, they come up and make chima. But again, he capitalized on that family name. And my uncle was educated, well educated, and he came up great. Came up
yeah,
great. Yeah. And guess what? Those Congo people, their own original children. Some of those children became drunks.
yeah,
They were all messed up. But my uncle, he came up with that family. He went to college, he graduated. He had all prestigious job. And guess what? He was the breadwinner of his original family for us. He paid my school fees, all my cousins, my other siblings. He helped every one of us. Any little thing, we used to go to that guy through that. But that those other children that were privileged, the Mexico unborn children that were born in wealth, were born in everything. Those children could come to America for joke, for
yeah,
fun. Back then, my uncle couldn't. But he used that time and he became somebody. So you're right. Sometimes it is the individual, it is the individual mentality. Some people just feel relaxed, like yeah, my father got it. I
I
don't,
don't need to.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I don't need to. Why should I do this? And you find out a lot. I think Peterson was talking about even in the African culture, we see it in this Nigerian movie, and you talk about the African culture too. It is prevalent among in the African culture. You will find out that a lot of people, their parents got oil well, especially in Nigeria. We use Nigeria because they are our superpower. And you will find out
Yeah.
that a lot of times, yes, some of them will and further legacy, like Peterson said. That's why a lot of people, because it is believed. I don't know if it's a myth, and maybe Fee will prove me wrong, right? It's a myth that we boys, children, always maintain the legacy. That's why it's a big deal when they born boy. When you start born in watching one African show, they got the woman just so girls, children, the man got mad. He brought another wife. She to continue with the girls, children. The making out of the house. And so it is believed that the boys we can hold up that bloodline, that legacy, my father's property. He would trust it. He would entrust me rather than the girl. So I think to that point, it is believed that we hold on to that legacy. But then at the end, you find out a lot of those boys' children. I don't know. It is pressure, maybe too much pressure on you to keep your father's standard. I mean, I don't know, guys. If too much pressure, like Peterson's father was a great guy, and he left all these things with Peterson, and the expectation is for Peterson to not squander. So maybe sometimes the pressure on Peterson too, but Peterson doesn't look. I can't be like that man. I am myself. So I think I think it's an individual or mentality problem, a mental problem, where some people will uphold that standard. They say, yes, let me maintain it, even though I'm from a privileged background. But let me maintain that, let me also add on to the hard work. And talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump's story is unique though. I mean, let's also, elaborate with. Yeah,
Hey,
because
y'all leave my man
yeah, no,
alone.
no, no. Seriously, that man, he said his father. I know people will say, but not many father. But his father, he said his father gave him. I think how much was that? I think $500,000. That's how he started his business. Donald
Yeah, but
Trump gave him.
remember, I don't mean to call you. I remember his father sent him to military school. His
Okay,
father used to wake him up every morning when he's going to work to go with him. When he was out of
okay,
school when he was on vacation, like during the summer, he had to
okay,
wake up at the same time. And I don't know if a lot of people pay attention to that during the first time when he was running. He said he did the same thing with his children when he was ready to go to work. His daughter used to come, like during the summertime, they had to come to work with him at
mm,
5 a.m. Everybody had to wake up. That's why I said it depends on the structure of how you set that up.
true.
Everybody only remember that his father gave him that money. But I would think, like, as a father, if your son was being used, like, you're not gonna give him that money. I've seen a lot of white people give it to people outside. They don't give it to their children. But
True,
there
true.
was some type of structure set there for him to make sure and continue. He was starting to go the wrong way, so his father put him in military school, and that's
Mhm.
where he did his schooling years.
Oh,
So yeah,
that,
there's a whole lot to Donald Trump. A lot of people don't
So
pay
this is
attention to it.
Thanks for sharing that because hey brother, he even
Hmm.
mentioned about a brother died, a brother was an alcoholic. So can you
Hmm.
imagine? Now you see, yeah, he said that's why he never drank alcohol. A brother died. That are you busy? Yeah, yeah, what happened? Okay, okay. Well, just come back when you're not busy. Okay, okay, I'll be right there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we're about to close anyways, you guys.
yes, so yeah, so I think you see, a brother took a different trend. Maybe his
Right.
brother saw that family wealth and thing. He got carried away. He started drinking. But you see, and you're right. His father waking. Those are the basic thing. His father wake him up. His taking to places, putting him on a red track. That
Structure.
that
Structure.
structure helping. If his father could have just said, "Well, I got money. Let the man take care of himself," then he would
You
have
and I
gone.
won't know about Trump. Who's Trump?
Exactly. So you're right. Yeah, you're right. I think it depends on the structure too. So when you got a better structure, that's why we in America, we try to do the best for our children. That's why every time I'm going to church, my son I mean he's my handbag. For the other ladies, sometimes they go with their mom, but my son, he's the first person. The
Yeah,
first, as soon I wake up, I knock that door. He will come now, he reads, he will come because usually they make them sometimes the scripture reading. He will come and
Mm.
ask me because I used to read in the church, I used to read. So now he following my footsteps. So he will come and ask the people, can I read on Sunday? So you see, I'm building a foundation for him for
that
that.
is that
Yeah.
is a memory you're building, and
Yeah.
that is something that when you know when you're old and your son become an adult, that's a family tradition, and that's what
Yep.
I feel like a lot of our families don't try to remember.
That's it. That's
Those
it.
things are not just things you're doing, that's a family tradition, and you're building it, and that's something that he's going to continue, which become a legacy.
And
you
that's
know
it.
That's it.
People are not paying attention. Like, I remember when Peter saying you were just coming, when you were just saying, tell your kids about your history. I remember when we were little, when I was with my grandmother, I always remember the Basa people in their story business, right? Spotter
Yep.
story. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my grandma will always sit us by the little fire, and we will have this story that she just said. She made up this whole story about our whole family lifeline, and would tell us about, when there was this little girl, and that little girl was her, and she was just narrating these stories. And that's why that's how I started to know about my family line. But after my grandmother passed, I don't know nothing else. Like, there's nothing else. That's why I said I don't remember too much about my younger days, because once I left my grandmother, I came to my brother. I try to understand and learn about my dad, because I never met my dad. My dad passed away during the war, and I was just a baby. So now I don't have no pictures. I have nothing. So I'm trying to relive these stories through my siblings and my mom. My mom will tell me these stories about my dad and things he used to do, you know. But these are stories that are very, very important to pass on to the next generation, because if you don't do that, that's where the family line cuts.
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
everything is done. So whatever you're doing right now, that is a tradition and a legacy. You're setting the foundation, and he's going to continue it, because a lot of American children like that tradition thing.
That's
Like,
true.
this is our family tradition. This is our family culture. So I really like that you do that. That's good.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So I don't know if we want to give out who wants to start with the closing real quick so we can wrap it up.
Yeah, so let me just start. Let me go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, today's topic was nice, very nice. A little highlight about Americans' deportation.
Yeah.
And some people come to America and say, "Let me just leave it. Let me leave that one there.
I know. Forget it.
Let me leave. Let me leave that one there." So it was nice. We just touched it a little bit and just talk about it and the good side and the bad side of that deportation. And we all think Donald Trump should reconsider his decision. That's the greatness to America. That what makes America great. And other other countries around the world, even though they have the population, they have the greatness when it comes to military power, they get this, but they cannot stand in the place of America because of the diversity and the multicultural, uh, 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 acceptance. That's what made America great. Everybody around the world, you will see in American armies, you will see people from diverse backgrounds,
Yep.
and so it had to overpower them. So that's it. You want to fight America, your own daughter or your son will be among them, and
That's
so they
true.
know about you well.
Yep.
So deporting them, the criminals should go. That one, everybody is online with that. But
Mm-hmm.
those that are providing to the society need to be given a second chance, give them document, and sound a warning, and let things be going right. That would be good. But
True.
when we come to our topics today,
Mm-hmm.
I strongly believe that to our listener and our very selves, I strongly believe that there should be a legacy line built in your family. All legacy line could not be the wealth you want to create wealth. But you could give them the backgrounds of your family, be able to give them that background, and with the instruction that they must make sure and pass it on to their children, because you don't want the family tradition, the background of the family to go away when you are no more. And that's the reality, because our parents, we used to tell us the story, they are no more, some of them. And so the unfortunate thing, like Fee said, she didn't know anything after her grandma died. And she was giving you some story. For me, my grandma dead and my father dead. I didn't see my grandpa, but my father told me a lot of stories. My grandma told me a lot of stories, a lot of stories. So it reminds me anywhere I am. I know the family history and I know the family background, and I want to do something that will step us up from that particular area that I met my people. And so if you tell your children where you came from and where you are, they will say, oh, yes, I think I need to do something different. Since my mom or my dad have brought me to this level, can I be able to surpass this level? That would be the beautiful thing. Also, it's better to know very well where you come from. It's better you think about a a creating a legacy, like a wealth. I mean, it sounds somehow, but it couldn't be like you're going to be like a Donald Trump. But again, you got to build a foundation. You got to build a foundation, because we come in this country, we rent, 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 rent. Sometimes I call it pay mortgage. We say we buy a house. We we say we buy a
It's
house.
still renting.
That's the renting. That's the I call it high color renting. Terminology about
Yeah.
house, and we do that. But you know what? What leads with you, if you got a business going, putting your time to it, investing into it, you will sooner or later becomes employer. Sooner or later become to grow your wealth. And that is something that is of huge legacy. Your children will come and see it, and some of them will pay attention to it. What they're going to do, they're going to take it from that level. It's going to blow up and going to be very, very successful. So again, these are the kind of legacy building. If you do, your children will forever remember you. Tell them your family history, build, try, strive, and build up a business and leave it with them, and train them. All of them may not be expert in that. Any profession you find yourself, you can enterprise it. If you are a nurse, if you are a medical doctor, you can enterprise that. If you are, let's say, especially in any other thing, you can enterprise any profession you have. So I just want to sound out to our listener that it's important you build a legacy for your children, telling them your tradition as well, building them, try to strive and build them the wealth that they will take it as family legacy and protect it. Because here we don't have cocoa farm, we don't have rubber farm. The only thing you can do, you can enterprise yourself and have a business running, and your children will put time to it, they're going to do it better. And that is your cocoa farm, that's your rubber farm right here in the white mainland. That's how I would like to leave you. But that was a nice topic today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Reverse Esper.
Yeah, let me be quick because my cousin. So the Bible said, train up a child in the way he should grow. When he is old, he will not depart from it. So it is essential. Yes. Our topic talk about if our upbringing in life, if how it reshapes or how it change our how it reflect on us as adult. I think yes, that scripture is very important. We learn almost everyone that came up in Liberia, and even the Bible. That's one of the famous scripture that train up a child in the way he should grow. When he is old, he will not depart from it. And that
Yeah.
scripture is real, because the way you train your child, yes, there are times that children would leave with wants to grow, but the most part, you set a structure for them. You show them a pathway somewhere that along the line they will still say it. Like Fee's talking about, She's sitting, sit with it, sit by, grandma, sit by the fire and thing. Those are things. That's how the scripture is. Once you train those children to certain things, yeah, even at the end, they will tell the children, even when things not going well, say, yeah, this is what I did, this is what I did. I mean, I did. So wealth wealth should not determine wealth, or poverty should not determine should not, I mean, it does in other sense, but eventually it should not be a determiner in our life, whether you come from, whether you come from a wealthy or a poor background. um it- it should not, it it should not determine your outcome. When you come from a background, like I said, you beat the odds. You challenge. There are challenges in life. I always go back to this man called Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton he was living on the street of Paris. Louis Vuitton, you can look it up. On the street, homeless kid. Look today, his name brand, the Louis Vuitton, is selling what is making billions. People buying the bags, the belt, whatever. So it tells you that, see how he came out from that homeless. He could have said, well, I mean, it's over for me. I'm homeless. I
Right.
came from a poor background. But look who he is today. It just tells you how much, your destiny lies in your hands. So
Yep.
yeah, it is important for us to train our children the way of life, carry them up, and pray is very important to everything. That's why we always pray for our children, pray for the family. There are temptation out there. I mean, you went to school in America, you went to college here. You know how much
Yep.
temptation nowadays in colleges, where even, on the surface, we talk about it, where a boy can get it today or a girl can get it today. He say, you know what, I'm a boy. I think I identify as a boy or identify as a girl. Those are challenges our children face, but we always got to remember that in prayer, and make their future should not be determined by the inheritance, whatever we left with them or whatever we don't have. Train them the right way in life. How to beat challenges, how to manage situation, how to manage expectation, and with God's help, things will be better in their lives. Thank you very much, Steve. And
Thank you so
TDS.
much.
Yeah.
I think you guys pretty much said it all. The only thing I would say is River says already say pray, don't let one situation be your final, like says it all, oh today went bad, that's it. Just one thing I'm gonna say this week, my new team that I met when I walk into that building, you guys.
I forgot to congratulate you first when I got here, man.
So gangster.
Thank you. I was standing there, they're all taller than me, everybody's huge. I'm seeing tattoos, I'm seeing nose ring,
Jesus
everything.
Christ of Nazareth.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why does my company does this to me every time? What makes them think I can handle this? But I will tell you, when my eyes opened, I said a prayer and I said, God, I'm here. I'm ready. Let me get to work. And I will tell you, they may look that way. It's just the foundation has been set over there hasn't been the best one. And I'm determined to turn it around. So
Man,
Um, if somebody can believe in me and look at me and say, "Hey, you got this," I think I should have that drive in myself to know. But I will say, when I saw those people, I was like, I know I've handled difficult hospitals before, but I didn't know I could do this one. And I called my senior director and I said, "Where did you send me?" I said, "What?" He said, "Oh, you'll be fine, Felicia. You got this. Bye. I gotta go. I have a meeting." And I was like, "Okay." Let's do the huddle. But sometimes it takes other people to believe in you for you to see it for yourself. So, but I would say by Friday, their faces turn around a little bit, just a
Hmm.
little bit, because when I went in there, they were ready to chew me up.
Hmm.
It was
Wow.
like, who are you, and what makes you think you can change things around here?
Hmm.
And it's just like, okay, well, let's start. My name is this, and this, I am your new. And the whole speech went because I didn't know how to start, but nobody prepared me for that. But when I stepped in front of those group of people, they are like, "You look like a little girl."
Wow.
But I was saying, in every situation, God always has someone there for you. And there
That's
was one person in that group that could calm the entire group down for me to be able to get my speech through.
That's
So
it.
I will say, but I'm determined, and I know by Friday, yesterday, I knew that, you know what? They're just playing tough. The foundation's just been rocky, but I got this. So, with the same thing, your upbringing may have been rocky or whatsoever, but as long you pray and you look into yourself and you know what you have, you can handle any situation. So, thank
Yep.
you guys so much for this topic. And we'll see what we talk about tomorrow. If you guys have any topic about, religion or anything, send it our way.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will
Thank,
look around. Okay.
all right. Thank you, River Says Pro. Thank you, Peterson. Thank you to our audience. We
And
didn't
happy
have much
birthday,
audience today, but
happy birthday. Somebody say your birthday is tomorrow
no, my birthday's on the 10th. You
on the
can,
10th. Ah, okay. Ah, okay.
yeah, I heard on the 10th. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay. All
By
right.
the
Okay.
grace of God.
All
All
right.
right. Bye bye.
All right, everyone says,
All
have a
right.
nice